for volunteering your time to the Symbian Consumer Marketing Focus Group. Your opinions are valuable to us and we want to know what they are. Tell us everything. 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 Tell us everything. Everything. Everything.
Delay that faded for a second or two, but hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to very quickly, before I forget, do a little bit of code fixing because someone caught a fun little bug in my code. I need to fix it, and then we're going to go back to the regular stream. Where are we? We are in the oh my goodness, chat's popping off. Let me turn on the lights. Let's figure out what the right light setting is. Things I should do beforehand. That's probably too much. Sparksign, I will get to your question in a minute. I just want to do this before I lose my train of thought. Oh no, I do it in here. It's like a one-line code that I made and then got in GitHub. Where am I? Player. Get. And it's not max total matches. It is. It's self.getRecord. Games played. And then we commit this. Why is this change not showing up? There we are. Calculation, sync the changes, and I'll have to remember to push. Okay, now let's swap it over to here. Okay, Sparksign, I'm introducing a friend to Netrunner. I bring the 30 card deck from System Gateway, but he wanted me to bring a couple of interesting decks. So Sparksign, I think definitely bring them. My expectation is you won't actually use them because, and I say this as someone who is experienced now, like Netrunner was my first card game, but I now go like, okay, I'm an experienced card game player. Throw me in the deep end, and then I play my first game and they go, oh shoot, that was a mistake. Or some will play a beginner deck against me like a good teacher, and they go, oh, let's do that one more time. Let's do that one more time. But if I was to choose startup decks that I would recommend, I think the thing is I'm always going to recommend some version of Precision Design as the Corp side deck, because it's basically a gateway deck. So you just take the good cards, and like if you use the Harmonic Ice Suite, I think you can do some cool things with it still. In terms of specific deck lists, someone must have published them. This is where we're in for a little bit of... Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to search deck lists. We're going to go startup, and then we're going to search for Precision Design. We're going to go for seamless launch, Probably we're going to go for Anoetic Void. This is such a boring, boring it's not super hypey, but it's, like, very, very good. I think this Vladismirsk City Grid's a little bit memey, but I don't know. Maybe it's actually really... I could see it being pretty reasonable and lets you score some fast advance stuff. So actually, this would be where I would maybe start for Corp side. In terms of runner side, I don't know where I would start in startup. My recommendation is, if they are going to be playing runner, I think an endurance-based deck is really, like, any endurance-based strategy is fine. If you're playing runner, I would maybe steer away from including endurance because you're going to use it much better than they're going to know how to handle. I am the last apologist on endurance isn't the problem, Anarch is the problem. But if we're looking for startup, we're looking for... Actually, you know what? So, let me think. Where were we? Like, this is a really solid deck. This is a very, very solid deck. So this might be where I would, like, something like this. Like, this has some real weaknesses. 2 endurances is going to mean it papers over a lot of them. But this might be a good runner start. If you want to play criminal, I would probably... Honestly, I suspect just doing a Sable Mark deck could actually be pretty fun. Like, this won the startup event that Andre hosted, and that was a reasonably large event. Maybe you don't need to do 3 deep dives. You could do 2 deep dives and spend some influence on, like, cleavers and stuff and leeches, which I think would make this deck just much more consistent. And you have slots to cut because Carpe Diem is... Oh, did this one not... Oh, this was actually a circuit opener. This is not the one that won Andre's event. Thank you. This is the one that won. I'm not the biggest fan of Matryoshka. I think it's a little bit overrated, but this deck is also pretty reasonable too. And I think, like, if you want to swap out 2 endurances for 2 deep dives, put in 2 penny shavers, and then cut the Matryoshkas for real breakers, I think you're in a good spot. So that would probably be my pick. I think that's actually would be my recommendation. Maybe it's like Mark Sable. It's going to be a little random. Okay. Well, all the other creators are coming to my stream, so maybe I can claim to be the creator's creator. Your favorite creator's favorite creator or something. But but yeah, I would say, you know, the nice thing about this is there's lots of synergy. The downside of it, it's going to feel pretty random. So, like, if your opponent is a kind of spiky player, maybe stay away from this and maybe go for something like the Lu. I pulled up Lu because I thought, like, I had a little bit of a stream a little while back where it was, who was I talking? Oh, did he not publish it? Boo. Okay, so I don't remember Brendan's list, but that would be it. Okay, in terms of deck lists, so I was fully intending and recorded that podcast episode saying I'm going to play Op at the event. And then I showed up to the Tuesday casual Netrunner meetup and got smoked by Ghost Tongue Essa 3 games in a row. Now, to be in my defense, in the first game, I won, or I would have won if I had not drawn the second Bass off of the top of R&D. The second game, I was never going to win. And then the third game, I think, came down to me doing something. Like, there was another one of those, like, oh, they milled 3 points off of the first Shashushka, or 3 agendas. They top-decked an agenda on R&D run, and then milled 2 more on Shashushka on turn 3. And it's like, well, that's going to be hard to come back from. But I either need to heavily tech the deck for Ghost Tongue Essa, because I have heard through the grapevine a good chunk of the local meta is going to be trying Essa because I evangelized it, brought it to a bunch of stuff, and it's such a fun deck. Do you think Bridgman so like I'm not sure that Bridgman Op is like this is so I got into this debate and I don't think Bridgman Op is really a real deck because so Bridgman Op, I went looking at this because we got in this argument today. To me, this deck mostly succeeds. Right, so this is the deck that might beat up on Essa. To me, this list is really exploiting endurance because it's just saying I don't have ice that's relevant. My ice is cheap, but you kind of need to play an 8-cost card to deal with it, and then you don't have all this money to deal with my other stuff. And then we're just going to Econ Warfare HHN. And I'm not sure... I don't know. I'm not sure that's actually consistent. Especially as we're getting back to a world where Hoshikos are going to be... like, I could see this having a fine Essa matchup. I think if someone brings Hoshiko, I'm not sure what you do. Like, I think a little bit of this Intercontinentals list was preying on the meta deck at the time, which was Pad Taps Lat, right? Let's see if I can find a link here. Do we have a Pad Taps Lat? We don't. Okay, that's unfortunate. But, like, Pad Taps Lat just, like, doesn't have the right style of econ to deal with this. But, like, yeah. But, yeah, Makua with Triple Aeneas, like, rolls this. And I don't even know that you need to go that extreme. Like, when you look at the Hoshiko list that came later, so if you look at... like Hoshiko, Endurance, right? If we look at the later lists that came out, like post Continentals, right? So this is Hoshiko at Continentals, and it's like 2 Rizekis, 3 Pad Taps, like I don't actually do a lot. Only 2 liberated accounts and a single Citadel, right? So this is actually running kind of close to the bone. And then what we end up seeing is... by the time we get to Worlds... we get to just lists that are just running... Well, actually, is this the same amount of money? I guess this is maybe the same amount of money, right? So that's interesting. It definitely pokes a hole in my theory. It's interesting. I would... Okay, so I now have to think about this more deeply, which is frustrating. Let's compare these 2 lists and see what's different. It is not much, is it? It is basically nothing. It's dropping no free lunches for Pad Taps that got banned. You drop Rizekis for Fermenters. And that is the only functional change. Yeah. Okay. So I think my thesis basically ends up having to be that it turns out Fermenter was better than Rizeki and Pad Tap, which isn't true, right? I think the actual conclusion you make is Deuces helped the matchup a bit. People learning how to play against it helped a lot. And then, like, my other piece of evidence is like, hey, by the time Worlds roll, like between Intercontinentals and Worlds, Bridgman felt like he had to roll out a whole different Corp. And there's no card releases there, just bans that brought down the runner power level, and still Bridgman felt like Bridgman Op wasn't good enough. And I think some of that just has to do with the fact that Bridgman Op, right, is reliant on it's reliant on lining up your urban renewals with OZF Protocol and Audacity, right? And I think that's just a little too unreliable, and I'm not... Oh, it also lost preemptive action, which I don't think was super important to the deck, but, like, is a loss, right? And, like, I don't know what you do to a runner who just says, turn 1, gain, you know, end up to 12 or something. Yeah, I don't know. I have never been that sold on any of the asset op lists. I think they've just been a little bit too clunky against players that understand the game plan. So, I don't know. I'm not super high on it. I kind of want to try out this list, and, you know, if I try out Bridgman Op afterwards, that's a thing I can do as well. I guess 2 Audacity seems right. And that's part of why I'm like, this list feels like it's a trap list, right? Because it's like, if you just let the urban renewals like, let's say my, like, this isn't gonna happen, right? But it's like, this list has no way to beat a Stone Ship Chart Room. Almost said Log Vault and caught myself. But yeah, it's like, this list needs to be on 2 Audacity if that's its actual game plan, and otherwise it's hoping to bait the runner into making bad runs, or that you can protect the OZF and the urban renewal, which seems very difficult. But unsure. So we'll run a game of this, and then maybe we'll take an Arco Mushrooms Loki Ag, because that seems like what people want to run. And I'm sure I will get nothing but compliments on JNet for playing that deck. And I'm gonna steal from Andre and just play the deck of the week. But let's see. Oops, no, I do want standard. I want this button though. Oh, it's supposed to what, your opponent conceding? I think so. To answer, I am not 100% sure I'm playing, though. I said, like, if we have less than 20 people, which I think is pretty likely, I will play. If I'm the odd person, I probably won't play, because I don't want to be responsible for that. Oh my god, I mulliganed into an even worse hand. Let's go. Okay. Let's see. Is this Mouseless pay 1, take 2? I think that might be the case. Hush and Hunting Grounds are definitely the easiest tech. Chisel Charm is also a reasonable shot because you can just blow up the Loki. let's see. I think if there's other tech that I'm not thinking of here. Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing is like 419. I think 419 and Hoshiko should both be totally fine into the op matchup. And if they're prepping for Asmari, they're on 2 to 3 liberated accounts. And I think I'm just pretty bad into those matchups. Okay. So we know this deck. We can thank Andre for this absolutely egregious matchup. I wonder if I'm actually supposed to do the Azef there. Nexus is decent ag tech. Yeah. So all these things get hit by enforcing loyalty, except for Chisel Charm out of Hoshiko. Now, do you include deck slots for Chisel Charm? I doubt it. This is last click. I get to give them a tag. Or I can just score the hostile, right? Let's see. So this is... No, if I can't rest the muscle, so I go down too low. Yeah. So we just play this slowly. We click back up to 7 credits very, very slowly. Oh, I should move to the JNet so my face is not so big. Oh, but I have to take off the guest tag. Okay. I think I just click for credits here. If I get doofed again, then I do res the Mausolus. But no point to resing it right now. Okay, so I think it's credit, hedge fund. Yeah, we're just going to keep playing this slow here. We have the Biotic in hand. We need to ice up R&D at some point, because my opponent really should be keeping R&D clean. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So I want to put cheap ice down. Let's draw once. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to put this down on R&D. We will pay 1, and then we'll put this on server 2. Let's see. 3, 3, and they get the Rashida. I think I'm okay with... No, I think I'd rather get the Rashida off than deny them the Bravado. They do get an Atlas, which is a bummer. Oh, they've got 5 leech counters, so actually I don't have this nearly at all, but... Oh, that's nice. Okay. So what do I actually do here, then? Oh, this is a complex board state. I do need to get the Mavirus down. I need to get the Stavka down. And then I need to bait out the Security Nexus. Hit them with a Stavka, which seems tricky. Not terribly I don't know. I think it's might just be... Yeah, we'll do server 2. We will pay 1. Put this in server 2. Do I click for a credit here? Or do I double ice something? Do I want to just overwrite the Mausolus? Probably not. 2 ice is much more annoying for this deck. Yeah. Fast Advance upgrade is 3 to res, so I don't really have any ways to do anything. The real tragedy here is that Shaper is almost sure a dead faction. Yeah, I think so. Let's see. I'm thinking here. Because I could res this. And then res this, which is 6. Pop it. Okay, so, okay, yeah, so we're going to go res, purge virus counters, install Yakov in server 2. Then we res Sandstone. My opponent should probably jack out here because at 4 credits, I'm not actually presenting any real threat here. Only smoke is named Reels and Shaper? Probably, yeah. Alright. So my opponent's going to do the smart thing. Yeah, I actually can't res this, and I don't think I mind. That play may have been dumb in retrospect. But our remote's still kind of annoying to get to. Oberth is 2 to res. Yep, I don't really want to search it to forfeit any of these. Okay, so we've got lots of good draws here. Probably do this. We're going to sack the... I mean, all of my ice is the same, so envelopment's probably not what I need. Let's see. I actually need to watch Andre's Built the Last video later. It's on my list. Okay, are they gonna sucker? Yep. Res border control. Let's see. Yeah, there's no point in doing any of this. I make 2 credits. Yeah, I basically make net out even from the trash. But they're not running centrals, which is really what they need to do. So advance, advance, score. So now we can actually get an Oberth protocol. They can probably trash one more card. Can I trash a card here? I mean, my hand's good, my board is not. I mean, hey, you know what? I'll take it. If they're gonna trash it this much, I don't think I mind. I should have a second sandstone. I do. Great. So they can't... Oh, I guess they can just trace through it, right? I'm a credit off of where I need to be right now, which is unfortunate. Okay, well that's the credit I need. So now we go like this. Nope. You can see that. And then we'll put this on R&D. Then probably next turn, assuming there's nothing. I don't think there's any point to resing these right now. it's going to be install a Whoredom, draw some cards, probably. I res this Afshar, probably, right? This is... I don't know why this... maybe I shouldn't have res the Afshar. I'd have 3 more credits here, right? Yeah. Okay. That's not a terrible draw, to be honest. Obviously not going to res any of these. We're just hoping to not lose off the top of R&D. Like, this is not a great spot for us. Oh, wow. Okay. GG. I don't know why this deck is not running GFIs. Seems bad. Yeah, it seems not ideal. I don't know if that's better than where we're spending our influence right now. Yeah, I mean, you can just make this change. Not SDS, Bass. And it's basically the same deck. Like, obviously, Bass is worse than Biotic Labor. I also don't know why we're not on 3 extracts if we can get money checked. And I'm not sold on this Mausolus. 14 ice seems maybe a bit low. 2 Malaperts seems maybe excessive. Well, I guess we don't have that many ways to tutor them. We'll do this minor change. We'll play 1 more. Bass versus Cali testing. Yeah, that's the other option. I like Bass because it's the same card, but it has 2 more trash costs most of the time. Anvil's cute. That's certainly true. It's probably going to do more for us because we have no tag threat. I'll give it a shot. I don't think it's going to be right, but we'll give it a shot, right? I'm also like this. I'm not sure if you need Archer when you can be playing Stavkas, though obviously that was not going to be a good matchup. But I think that should be a matchup. Like, to be honest, I don't expect to see almost any Nexus 419. But it does make me a little concerned because I'm like, the reason I don't think we should see any Nexus 419 is because Outfit should stomp it. And if this is struggling to beat Nexus 419, then that's a real sign that this deck is just worse at the same game plan that as just bad pub Outfit, right? Which happens sometimes if you're like, oh, I want to make this work, and then it turns out that it's better to just be this other thing in the same faction, right? Now, like, in theory, we should have ways to break R&D lock, and like, to some extent, players will know less, but, like, I don't know. Clearly, my opponent that game was able to just dismantle me. Yeah, they made some mistakes, but they didn't make mistakes that cost them anything real, right? We didn't have a real econ edge. I definitely screwed up a couple of ice reses, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, I felt pretty helpless past the mid game there, and like, you know, maybe my opponent drew well. I'm not sure that they drew particularly amazingly. Presumably, they're on 3 turtles, 3. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, no, I do have the recording on. Interesting. So something weird's just going on with that one. It's all good. Yeah, I don't know. I suspect Outfit's just the stronger version of the same idea. Just because you don't have to spend the influence on Biotic Labor, you can spend it on HHN, because your agendas are their own Biotic Labor. Like, your deck is just naturally basically a biotic labor for free, which is a big upgrade. So, you know, I'll do this game, and then we'll go and load up Loki Ag, and we can try, and it'll be my first time ever trying to pilot it, but you think it does? I'll definitely try that out. Ag Infusion, Triesta. Do you think there's any reason to play Odd Fast Fans when you just play sports? I'm not sure. It's definitely an option. Actually, let's just copy this. Hey, Chris. Cool. Yeah, Odd Fast Advance being worse than sports and worse than outfit seems plausible to me. I think like the theory, the upside theory, right, would be that you get the most reliable Atlas counters of anyone. Now in practice, do you actually? I'm not sure. Like, you kind of need a border control, an Atlas, and a hedge fund by turn 2. And that can sometimes get a little dicey. Okay, this is the matchup we're trying to test against, so that's great. The Manigarm shenanigans are definitely a thing to look at as well. Like, that's maybe the best deck for Void, but I don't know how that deck does against Ghost Tongue. Like, it's funny because I like my matchups as op against everything else in the field. I don't love them against Ghost Tongue Essa. So we'll see what our opponent is up to. I'm going to assume Ghost Tongue Essa, but I would say Deuces is an indicator, but it's the same thing. Every Essa deck should probably be running this. Okay. I actually like both of these cards in this matchup. We can even tutor for an early Spin Doctor, though I think okay, yeah, so this is definitely Ghost Tongue Essa. I feel like turn 1 Labor Rights is wrong, but people keep doing it against me and doing quite well, so it must be me who's wrong, right? At a certain point, you must admit that you are the one who is wrong. We'll grab the Biotic Labor, I think. And we'll just keep trashing the top. Yeah, I mean, I guess you play the labor rights at any time. You know what? At this point, maybe we ditch the Stavka, now that I've decided to not ditch cards from the top for a long time. I think next turn is actually probably, if we don't draw an agenda, we might actually just extract the Malapert for a Spin Doctor and then protect the Spin Doctor with Ice. Which I'm starting to think is maybe one of the important things to do in this matchup, and is maybe why oh, I found Stavka to be really useful. It's just attacks rather than a blowout. So okay, actually I don't hate Anvil here because Essa installs no boards, so we're gonna do Spin Doctor and a new remote. Yeah, I often get it to 7, basically always. Okay, so actually it might be... Do I Anvil? Or do I just say, at some point I'm going to have to use the Spin Doctor, right? And so in the meantime, let's just start making my remote. Like, there's almost always a worse card on my board, and at 7, it costs them just so much. Okay, 2 border controls and Ozef down. Okay. I think I'm just gonna res the anvil. We're not going to trash another card. And they get to choose where they want to break. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, purging is a little late here, but that's fine. Yeah, I'd like to, like, all of these cards feel more important to me installed than not installed. We're gonna just go and... Actually, no, I think because I don't want to draw an Azef here. I was gonna say I don't want to draw another agenda here, but Fate has decided otherwise, right? We're gonna shuffle a face down, and we're gonna shuffle back probably a border control. Do I think my opponent can get through an envelopment? Yes. Do I think they will? Maybe not. Like, that feels weird to me because I'm like, I can just force that out, right? And it's like, yeah, if they want to spend 8 to get in, maybe I can accept that trade. But I don't know. Yeah, so now I get to trash an unres piece of ice to trash one of these 3 cards. Oh, I think losing a Ghost Hunt's great for me. Do I even have any? I have a hostile, right? Yeah. Yeah, Anvil's decent. I don't know that it's like, it's definitely a reasonable shot. Oh, this is great for me. It's absolutely fantastic for me. They've got a click left, so I can't really go for the super rude play. But we can just go and put the Afshar in HQ. As much as I want to keep the Anvil going, I might stand off trash the Anvil for a Sandstone. Because I don't have a lot of other plays here. Like, they can trash the paperclip here, and I don't mind if they do. Yeah, we just go and put the Sandstone on R&D. Okay, I think we can then actually just trash the Sandstone, and if they really want to trash their Marrow, they can. Okay. Oh, interesting. They did not... Man, these windows are getting just a touch bugged. They had a Ghost Tongue in hand that they chose to not install. I think that's that's a very interesting choice. Yep, they're going to steal some points here. Can't really stop that. Can't just install Blorch over and over. It's barely worse than breaking. Yeah, that's... maybe. I don't know. Woof. Oof. Okay. So we have to draw out here. Okay. It's just going to be this. Which is ugly as hell, but... Yeah, we just like... I don't know, this standoff has felt awkward. But, I don't know. I think this list is just not it, I think. And that's fine. Yeah. GG. I just don't feel like I have lots of outs here, and like you don't have the tools to score behind ice quickly. Yeah. And my remote just can't become that threatening. So. Oops. Front page, basically. Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing I'm starting to think about in Ob is like against Essa, instead of trying to rush G out, you just actually should play it slow, ice up your centrals, and then just kind of try and hold down. Because like if they can't land Shishtushkas, they just have the one leg work. Yeah. Yeah, having a magnet to search actually in there would have been let's see. Shout out to my lovely wife who brought me brownies. Alright, well, now to become the villain and get absolutely schooled on Ag. .youtube. I'm just going to call this meta deck. No, we're not going to do that. We're just going to ambush an unsuspecting person. Oh, hey, thanks for coming by, King Fireslayer. Oh, it's all good. No, that was great. That was exactly what I wanted to have happen, was someone to come in and play that deck. Okay, this is wild. Just getting absolutely owned here. I think you have to mulligan that, but... This is hilarious. This is stream sniping, except that this guy was in the lobby beforehand, so... Oh my goodness. This is hilarious. Just absolutely ruined here. This is Padraig's Ag Infusion list. So this list is Loki Pilled, 2 Divert Powers, 1 Loki, 3 Waves, 3 Spin Doctors, and 2 Triests. 2 Biovaults is like your big out for weird stuff, but Tau is like such weird stuff that you're just kind of screwed. If your opponent knows what they're doing. If they deck themselves anyway, I think you're still alive, but it's not going to be an easy one. No, Fireslayer, the story at the start of my stream was that I went to a casual meetup playing my flavor of op deck. Oh, wow. Thanks for pointing that out. This is a 57 card World Tree Dow who got it on turn 1. So, yeah, we're just gonna try and play Ag Infusion, and we have all sorts of random junk in our deck. I'm interested to see what the first program they get is. I think it should be a Fermenter. Yeah. That's a better choice than Fermenter. I don't know who Kilobot is. I don't think it's Spags. Alright, so we've drawn the worst possible ice so far. Literally the worst possible ice. But our opponent doesn't know that. Our opponent just sees Anansi, 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 right? Fun fact, Tau isn't a good Loki ad counter if neither of you score any agendas. It's true. Hey, our opponent's even helping us. Peace in our time. Woot woot. Yeah, Running Parallel. There was a... Right when World Tree first came out, someone published an Atom list with it. It's probably... I genuinely think it might be the best World Tree list. Yeah, like, I actually think I can just score out before setting up the combo here. Like, there's a real part of me that's like, do I just install Slam the Oboe, right? I mean, that seems really good, doesn't it? This is where it's like, so normally the plan against this deck is score no agendas until you get Loki set up. My opponent's on... I guess we can... Yeah, I guess if I Ice Archives, they brick. Okay, I think it's... I put this in server 2, and I put this in server 2, and I shuffle back the... longevity. I maybe actually want to draw next. Is it? Was it Oboe in this remote? I could definitely buy this being Oboe in the remote. Thing is, this isn't actually a thing, and they can actually just run like the opponent can't know this, right? I would think the plan is to score 2 agendas, then use the Loki lock for the last one. In this matchup, probably. Okay. So I think we're gonna res the Spin Doctor. It's very low value. I should probably be playing this more aggressively, right? That's very clear. I just don't think enforcing loyalty is going to do anything here. I think we're just countered anyway. So normally the game plan into Ag, at least my understanding, is you actually want to apply pressure early. Because I can afford to res exactly one piece of ice. This is a very odd play. Okay. So, thinking. I have to do... So I think I can boop him into server 1 and then pop the NGO front. Right? Like, there's a paintability window here. Now, opponent is probably stealing an Oboe here, which is bad. So you want to get an outer ice resed. Oh, I didn't even see that they had swapped it. Whoops. Well, that's fine. Still not a bad res. They should run HQ here, right? That's the idea is that... Oh, well, fuck. Yeah, I probably should have just let them get in, but like Fem is so rough. All right, we're fine. We're fine. We're totally fine. No way we lose this. Absolutely none. So, actually, Andre, I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure how to beat the Ag Fusion list. I think it's, like, you can't just let them set up and do whatever they want. And if they don't have, like, especially when they don't have ice on central servers, right? You obviously want to punish that when you can. In terms of, like, what you do... This list is hilariously heavy on the ag tech. Okay, I feel like this light's a little too bright. It's like washing me out a bit. That might be a little better. You tech card and just click for money and they can't ever score. Maybe that's the right solution. Okay. Shuffle up to 3 cards. Do I have 3 cards I want to shuffle back yet? Not particularly. I think I can actually start setting up the server. Okay. Cat saying, thank you, Cat, for coming in. Tech card helps early pressure, contest the econ, make them poor. And then once they have the combo set up, then you click for credits. And then try and make 2 runs in a turn, I think, right? Where you can plausibly steal an oboe, which is easier said than done. And the deck does get flooded, so like you can rush into HQ in the end game. Honestly, Cat, yeah, if someone, Cat or an Arco or someone wants to come on and walk me through it a bit, that would be, I would definitely not say no. Let's see. And yeah, having hand size so that you can survive the Loki is good. Like, Malinzi can sometimes be bad. If you can afford to trash, you can get through it and stuff. Mobying is also a good way to beat it. Yep, that's definitely the case. It's one of the best strategies against it, in all honesty. Alright. I mean, our opponent's got some classic Shaper nonsense going on. We probably actually need to try and start scoring this. I mean... So we can spend 2. Choose a piece of ice. They're now encountering Chiashi. So this should mill 2 from the top. It doesn't look like it's going to. Oh, no, it did. Okay. If they win here, I'll be so sad. That'd be pretty mad. That'd be pretty unfortunate for me. I'm like 80 to 90% sure I've asked Kilobot, and they told me they're not spags. Now, does that mean they're spags isn't sharking me? I don't know, but okay. So like here, I'm actually quite low on ice, right? Which has me worried. So what my opponent should do is move the Chiashi to here. Because if they move the Chiashi to here, I no longer have an Ag Infusion threat. Whereas now, I can boop them around. I mean, so here's the thing. I think you can maybe mill out the 60-card deck. I'm not 100% on that, but it sounds plausible to me, to be honest. Yeah, my ice is ending up in bad places, for sure. Which is why I think I have to just try and score the oboe at some point. This Chiashi is going to be annoying to handle. It costs them, what, 10 to get up to strength? No. Yeah, it does. Okay. That's pretty good. 12 credits to break a Chiashi. Don't mind if you do. I mean, presumably they'll be on turbines, so it'll be a mere 6 to get up to strength. Probably also sell their Fem. Though I guess maybe if they're on turbine, they may not need to. Well, they will need to, but assuming they have anything better. Like, this Bio Vault makes me feel like I'm in a pretty reasonable space. Yep, there comes the turbine. I think it's just install Advance the Oboe. We can even wave to get the Loki. Then DNA Tracker. Or maybe we DNA Tracker... And then, okay, we just get the oboe, I guess. All right, we're gonna have to do another game after this where I try and actually figure out how to play this deck. Let's see. Right now. Can you wait till after CO season? Maybe. Too annoying for single-sided Swiss. 30. Yeah, if you only have 35 minutes rather than sometimes being able to selfishly take like the entire event. Like, this is the thing where I'm like, people are like, oh man, it's like like I don't know. I go back and forth on it. We're like 35 minutes is probably enough time to play an Ag Infusion game. And it's mostly the like, oh, I have to play an Ag Infusion game and another game. So I do kind of need to have another threat rezzed, right? Like, getting Malinzi res is not the worst, and my hand's pretty bad. So if I res the Malinzi, though, I can go credit Hansei. I think that's alright. Like, I guess I could instead have booped them into the Kanjin, then they hit the Chiashi if I win the Sai game. Oh wow. Right, they just can Fem overclock it. Lol. But yeah, I think just credit. Throw away Rashida is fine here. Flame out for Simulchip. Not like a Cyberdelia or something? Interesting. Yeah, I mean, like, it does, like, even just now, we can see, like, the economy is really fragile. I can't just bump you around to everything without opening up servers. So, like, yeah, let's say you run R&D and you're playing a regular deck that doesn't break this for cheap, right? You either can mill off the top, or you've opened up a server that you can hit next turn, and I have to be able to do stuff, which I can't always do. But all right, credit. Yeah, like, we're still in the phase where I think the runner can be attacking, but they could definitely start thinking about setting back. I mean, like, Tau shouldn't really need to, but we've actually managed to somehow get this game into, like, match point quite quickly, which is great for us. I mean, so we have 2 boops, and it just cost them $1 million. So I think we just try and play we just play Glacier Ag, which is maybe a reasonable enough fallback. Like, it shouldn't really work. I guess when you get a Chiashi res for free, it kind of can sometimes get there. But you could also imagine, like, if we're up against an Anarch, like, Hippo is just eating us alive here. And I can't be playing nearly this aggressively. Like, I have to just have Centrals iced here. And maybe I don't get any Rashidas or something. So I can definitely see why some people are not super high on this list, even if certain members of the Snare Bears think it's the best deck and have proselytized enough for me where I echoed it. Oh, you're right. They can ship the Chiashi. What decks are resistant to Hippo at the moment? I actually think Outfit's really good into the Hippo matchups. I would imagine Sports is also pretty good into the Hippo matchups. Like, you have to dodge the Stargate for a little while, but there's usually 1 Stargate compared to 3 Hippos. Yeah, Hank, that's a good spot that they can just Simulchip the Fem on this and, like, just be completely winning. Now, they have to know that they can get through this, but that shouldn't be a problem, really.
Welcome and thank you for volunteering your time to the Symbian Consumer Marketing Focus Group. Your opinions are valuable to us and we want to know what they are. Tell us everything.
Okay, the question is...
Tell us everything.
I guess there's no point to doing this at any time or another, right? Oh, yep, here comes the Fem. So this would be the argument for I should have bio-vaulted right away. So they don't actually get this window. Yeah, I think I just lose because my opponent actually is just hard beating me. Yeah, so if I break that, they kind of end up in a different place, but yeah, wow, I just got wrecked. I should have played it slower. Just put another ice on server 2, like putting the anemone on server 2 there. Actually, it's fine. Yeah, and then they can just Lindsay out their deck and just take me down. Yeah. Now, if this was a bio vault, this would be a pretty sick play. But my opponent literally is playing 4 different counters to me, and the deck is fragile enough to be bad to 4 counters. Yeah, okay, so I need to play that slower. I think, basically. But yeah, playing double counter. It's like, hey, if you can make that, if you can get that to work, good for you. And I certainly played that very poorly. So we're gonna give this another spin. We're gonna try and be a little bit better. And I'll maybe have to, instead of thinking about ways my opponent could mess up, think about how can I prevent my opponent from having the ability to outplay me. And like, yeah, if that server is instead an enemy wave, Chiashi, the enemy might still have done. I think I would have been a card short, but or they would have been a card beyond what I needed them to be, but it would have been closer. But yeah, booping isn't free. I need a lot of ice to move things around. So if you don't get absolutely destroyed by the first sentry I res, it's okay. 1 Anansi, 3 anemones, 3 Chiashis, 3 DNAs, a Kanjin, a Loki, a Lindsay, a Wave. So the DNA tracker is really the thing you're actually, I think, the saddest about to face in the first couple turns of the game, because that's the one that sets you back economically. The rest of them just cost you some cards. So counterintuitively, you can maybe just run with a code gate down first, which is very weird to say. But even just like a boomerang on an ice, run aggressively. Botulus on a piece of ice, run aggressively. Like, the good runners will have tools to make the early game difficult here, and then you just switch over to a real attrition mode. So, sort of my sense, but yeah, I don't know. But, you know, deck definitely isn't free wins. I'm not a very good pilot of it because I never learned, because it, and then, now I'm going to have to try and learn to beat it if someone decides to bring it to the CO on Saturday. So, we'll see. Trying to think. Well, so far, no obvious corpse of the 2 decks I've tried. I could play Outfit, though I actually think that has a terrible Ghost Tongue SM matchup. I've played the Asmari a bit. I don't like it that much. Like, I see why Laura does really well with it. How does he spell A? Oh my goodness. I okay. So this seems not great. This seems worse. I guess enforcing loyalty is something for security nexus, right? We just have to beat we just have to be ahead economically. Nope. Credit. All right. Do you want to run through the Malinzi? And then next turn is credit, install Anansi, paying 1. And then turn 3 is Andre installs Security Nexus, and we start crying. Oh, Stargate this early. Hansei Review, Wave, and DNA Tracker. Hansei Review, I think that's a pretty reasonable call. Andre is trolling me if this is Nexus. I mean, look, given how often Eric comes on to troll me, I wouldn't put it past anyone here, so. Okay. So, is it Wave on Archives, paying 1, look for 2 credits? I mean, I think installing Stargate this early is almost always a mistake. I think you can just run for the single here. Okay. So we don't want Rashida for a couple of turns. Oh, I did this backwards. Oh, shoot. We're just gonna say no on this Anansi, because we actually don't want to be drawing cards here. Hopefully he lost no breakers. That's fine. Yeah, okay, this is 100% Nexus, and Andre's just trolling me. That's beautiful. You can see that that's a wave. Okay. I want to install this Regalith and click it a couple of times. Because, like, now you need to decide, is the Anansi worth it? The other option is, like, just go and get the Loki piece, right? But Okay. So we still don't need Oboe. We're not going to use Rashida. And then we want all of these cards, and we don't care about the order too much. It's probably Divert Power, Wave, Hedge Fund. Done. We'll draw a card. We hit Amakua. Don't mind that. But now the play is actually probably running a central here, I think. Oh yeah, getting rid of this real is quite good. Is actually the play. What am I talking about? Okay. So now it's just gonna be hedge fund. New remote. Pay one. Andre's not gonna ever automate. Or no, I guess he probably has automated that at this point. Because I think there's. I guess I. Yeah, I don't know that that's ever getting run, but. Okay, do we just like Heart of the Cards this? Or do we just say, there's no rush, so... We know the next card in our deck is Rashida, and I'd much rather put that in the remote than the Longevity Serum, so there's no rush. I can just click for 3. At some point, Andre's going to put down a Begalter, and I'm going to be very sad. And then he's going to put down the Security Nexus, and I'm going to be even sadder. Because you don't play 2 rogue trading Citadel Sanctuary without having all of those pieces. Why are we discarding 2 here? Why are we discarding 2? Maybe just discarding 1, so probably a paperclip and then playing a card. Yeah, Leech isn't a card you're super thrilled about, but it's not the end of the world by any means. Can you actually have paperclip? Oh, I don't think you want to discard pinhole threading. Now, admittedly, you generally need 2 pinhole threadings to make a dent. But man, the chat keeps moving on me very slowly, so I think someone's chatting, but no, it's mostly me talking into the void here. There's also a thing here where yeah, Begalter goes. Do you have a plan behind hoping to draw Enforcing Loyalty in a timely manner? I don't know. I'm just going to rest assured of the fact that no one in my meta is playing the card, or just playing the deck, really. Do I discard an Oboe here? Because, like, this is a turn that Andre could think about running twice, right? Oh, yeah, not having an ice to put down here is unfortunate for sure. Oh, this is running replanting. Right, so this is, like, in theory, also Hush tech, I think, and arguably DAO tech. Okay, here comes the Nexus. Okay, so we don't pay into this trace. Let's see. Okay, so the question is, so we've got 2 link here. This only provides +1. Wow, that's wild. So I could go and dump. So this would cost me 2. And then I could dump it up to a trace 22. I don't actually need to dump it up to a trace 22. I need to dump it up to a trace 17. So this would cost me a mere 16 of my 19 credits to take out the security nexus. And maybe that's the only way I win the game. That seems suspicious that that would be my best line. I think we can trash the send a message. And we'll grab back a Hansei review as well. Because R&D is still technically safe to the bypass here. We will... Oh, I don't... Well, okay. Yeah, we will res wave. We'll search R&D for our Loki. We'll make a buck back. That's fine. We can do some weird stuff. Yeah, I think the Nexus deck does run 2. I don't know why it would run less than 2. So, like, going all in on enforcing loyalty seems suspicious. I like these res. I wanted to get this wave res so I could find the Loki, and then I can have some plays where I, like, install Rashida, install the Loki in a new remote, and then do, like, a flicker. So I de-res the wave, and I de-res the Rashida to res the Loki. Lindsay Kojin DNA tracker, that's fine. So like, because our credits are equalizing again a little bit. I think you want to trash the Lindsay there, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't think it makes a huge difference. They're all annoying pieces of ice. Okay, so I think what we do is we go new remote, we pay 1. We install this on server 3, and then we click for a credit. Then next turn, we're just going to do the Rashida flicker. Andre should probably doof us if he can. That would be very annoying and pretty solid. Only 15 cards left in the deck, and still has to steal probably 2 oboes to win. Man, if we could get the second wave res, we'd be making $2 a turn. And like the Nexus isn't that cheap. It's what, 3 credits to pay into each time. So like we might actually get this enforcing loyalty to where it needs to be. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Yeah, so now that that enforcing loyalty's gone, you can be pretty aggressive. Okay, so I think what we do is we go server 2. No. Server 3. Then we res. Then Loki is 6, right? And then we res the Loki. Then we'll res the Rashida just so that it's there. So now we can do a boop into... we now have our boop back up, so now we can't get diversioned as easily. And we just have to soak up the singles here. Question is, do I res this anemone here? Probably not. So the nice thing is this turns off the ability of Andre to Stargate this turn, I think. Because it would just cost him too much. Like, it would cost him every credit. I guess saves 1 on the leech, but... yeah, I think for the most part you don't want to be chasing remotes. We're just going to click for another credit here. That's not great. Yeah, Andre is trolling me. That's what we'll say. I'm just gonna go up real slow here. The other thing actually is I need to get an ice here before I can start doing anything, which is very tricky. Or before I can get the combo set up, because pinhole threading will beat the combo. So I have to, like, I'm playing real slow here. And the Stargate is definitely annoying. There goes my Triesta. But my next turn might actually just be install the Chiashi on R&D. Oh, okay. Well, that's an option too. So I guess we'll install the DNA tracker on R&D. I guess maybe I shouldn't even... Like, I shouldn't be trying to set up the combo here, right? Because there's just no point. It's like, I need to be drawn... I need my Biovaults, basically, because Biovault will beat Security Nexus, is kind of the idea, I guess. But it doesn't really, which is unfortunate. So draw. Yeah, this is not great. Getting a credit. So I'm kind of hoping I could just bait Andre into some bad runs, I guess. Well, I'm actually not allowed to do anything with these. If I'm trying to ever set up the combo. Maybe I'm supposed to be just booping once a turn and just trying to draw ice and move it around and stuff, but... yeah, losing a second Biovault here is bad. Not an easy trash for anything here. Yeah, I'll definitely need to get somebody to give me a lesson on how to play this deck, because I'm very clearly playing it poorly. I can make the argument that I've gotten counterattacked in 2 matchups, but I suspect there's still lines. Actually, at this point, maybe it is res DNA tracker, and then like do a replanting to move the wave onto R&D. I could actually see that being the line. Like, getting a Nexus used up is not bad. Like, this is actually now the last run he gets to make this turn. Which is okay. If I can get a second res ice here, that's pretty good. How does rotation affect Ag? Is the combo still alive? Yep. Yep. I think the only card it loses is maybe Chiashi. Every other card in this combo... Oh, does it lose Divert Power? Nope, Divert Power is going to be around for a long time. I think at some point either... Oh, and Tracker. Oh, yes, yes. Losing DNA Tracker is actually a huge blow to this deck, as we can kind of see from this game. Okay, the question is, do I want Econ, or do I want to... advance this Bio Vault? That's one of the two. I think I want to be like... I want to be representing the Triesta threat. Like, it feels weird. Maybe the replanting is right. Because I think what I actually need to do is, like, DNA Tracker Loki is just an annoying enough server. Like, now we can't... Like, so, against non-Nexus, you don't do this play because then the pinhole threading works. But we don't really have another option here. I guess we could start paying into the traces. That could be our third Spin Doctor down. No, just our second. Okay. I mean, drawing another DNA tracker is not bad, though. Because then we can just, like, put 2 DNA trackers on server 2. And that looks like it's going to be annoying for him to break. Excuse me. Nope, you can know that that's a DNA tracker. So when are we giving up on this ag funny business and building a real deck like Asa? If someone can convince me that Asa has an Essa matchup that is resembling 50-50. And if it's ontological Asa, that'd be a very fun call. And then the next barrier you have to go is that it's got to have at least 50-50. Like, it's got to be 50-50 or better against... It's got to be 50-50 or better against both Hoshiko. Like, it needs to have a positive matchup spread somehow against Essa, Hoshiko, and 419. It doesn't have to be super positive, just at least one winning matchup, right? And I think such a deck does not exist. And thus is the problem of the meta. I think actually... Maybe what I'm supposed to... doing here is just install advance to send a message behind... Whoops, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just felt like Asa has been such a mediocre matchup into Hoshiko and 419. And then it's like, I don't know that it's that good against Essa. Maybe if you can find an ontological, but you should probably just be ontological sports. Though Essa maybe sidesteps that by just not running archives till the end, till they've milled like 15 cards. Yeah, I guess actually it might be send a message, advance, advance. Because they can't, like, he can't get through DNA trackers twice. Nope, you got it. Yeah, so this Loki is actually just kind of blank. It's a fun threat, but it's not actually going to do anything here. So maybe the divert power was incorrect. So what I'm trying to do is threaten an oboe. Oh, I think this is great for me, right? What I do is I go Ag Infusion. And I just boop you into R&D. And now you can't Nexus anything. And I get this off, get my free DNA tracker. And I just get to sit comfy for a turn. Yeah, you need one more. And I just get to Biovault this. Yeah, because this is enough to get through one DNA tracker. It's not enough to get through two. But what I just do is make you spend all of them. So the goal, I'm just trying to get the runner to spend as many resources as possible while I'm completely safe. The leech counters are not like going to be that hard to get anymore, to be honest. But oh, I was slow on clicking the button. But yeah, Kingslayer, if you have a list you like, I'd love to see it. In terms of Asa, I have some stuff that I was running but not super happy with. Okay, so now we go advance, 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 score, DNA tracker. Which is certainly a little annoying. Then it's probably going to be like Hansei review the divert power, install the anemone on archives, click to draw, and we have to get through Stargate somehow. We're very sad if an HQ interface comes down. I forget if there's a virus in this list. It seems like it could fit in just fine, but it doesn't look like there is one. I'll need to get someone to come on and explain why this deck is glorious to me, because it's felt like such a slog and like I'm having to think a lot, which is probably cool. Like, if this is a really good deck, the fact that it requires the Corp to play well is good. The fact that we're getting run over by tech is less fun, to be honest, but yeah, I usually think of myself as doing this, but this is a this is a super complex board state, so I don't know. Oh, it's actually ideal for me if he steals an oboe this turn. But I think actually you trash the Spin Doctor here. Because that oboe's not going anywhere. And you can't, like, you just don't steal the... Oh. Okay. So now I just slam the oboe in this server. Cold Sight Seamless to score the Ikoa. That I don't know I've seen, to be honest. Oh, I have to let him know exactly what this is, because I'm credit perfect here. But I don't think he has the clicks. That's wild. Man, so he has this... He just wins this if he doesn't go and steal that oboe right away. But he knows that he can go after my other servers. Now, I guess with 3 credits, you might ask with what money, and I don't know. But you know where 2 of the oboes are. This is one oboe, this is the other oboe. There's 1 send a message and 1 oboe left in the deck, so, you know, pick your poison. Yeah, I'll be honest though, Firestyle, I've seen no cold site server, and I'd be, like, it'd be cool if it worked, I'd be a little surprised, but, yeah, Gatekeeper for early aggression, yeah. I won't talk to Andre just yet. I'm also gonna need to run to the bathroom after this game, and then we can dissect this game a little bit. It's fast advance, but it takes 2 turns instead of 1. That sounds like a meme, but it works some of the time. I like it. It works some of when it works. What's the quote? Some of the time it works every time. Turn 23. Hey, Rob. Thanks for swinging by. But okay, so apparently to get engagement, I need to just mess up quotes. Like what was my? Oh shoot, my wife had a good one while we were eating dinner. Oh, I think it was working with the best of bad options as opposed, or what was it? Working with the best devil as opposed. I forget. No, I'm lost now at this point, and I've now forgotten the original thing, which it was supposed to be like, oh, the lesser of 2 evils, and she was like the better of 2 evils, and I'm like, well, that's close, but not quite. Yeah. No, it's the best content. It's someone misquoting a misquote of a misquote. Like, I'll just keep going I'll just nest it and nest it and nest it, right? No, but I don't know. I'm trying to think what's. So I'm glad I'm now 2 hours in playing my 4th game. That's actually a decent clip, honestly. And still no closer to knowing what I want to play on Saturday. And part of me is like, I want to do a brew off stream. But all right. Yeah, the Stargate's not a bad play because I cannot spend a dime. You get through a Nancy for $3, and then if you don't succeed, you run HQ, but I get to boop you out. So you just have to trash the winning agenda here, which is a 1 in 2, or you've got 2 shots at the winning agenda here. Oh, but Galter saves you a buck, I guess. Okay, we got lucky. Yeah, it's funny. I think if Andre had trashed the Spin Doctor, all 3 Spin Doctors would be trashed, and I'd still have no way of really winning. You have the Amina potential. GG. Yeah, it's GG because even though he could run at HQ, I can just boop him out to a server that doesn't matter. All right, turn 24. Okay. All right. Well, that was definitely a game where 1-1, which is definitely better than with my other deck. Hey Andre, so I think the only mistake I really felt like you made was stealing the oboe. I think like trashing this, if you just trash the oboe, or just trash the Spin Doctor, I think either of those options is better than trash the oboe and steal it. Because like, honestly, your game plan there is probably to mill me out. Because it's quite difficult for me to score anything except an oboe, and every oboe you can get in the bin is really good. Oh, how is that? Okay, wait. We can look at the log, right? We can see how that last turn went. Or that penultimate Stargate went. So it was... Oh, yeah, so it's oboe. Stargate reveals oboe, Chiashi, Spin Doctor. So stealing the oboe, I think, is actually the mistake, right? And then, yeah, losing to rogue trading was rough, right? That is so much of your econ. But, let's think. I'm trying to think, because you were like, R&D was costing you, what, 3 credits to run? So, which is, like, not egregious. There was, like, 5 credits to run. But it's like, maybe with Stargate, if I'm not clicking to draw, you can, like, click for 4 credits every other turn. Oh, that she actually only messes up Amakua on break. I did not realize. Is that really true? Let's look at Chiashi real quick. Breaks a subroutine while there's an AI installed. Yeah, so Nexus gets you through. Yep. Yeah, so I think I think trashing the oboe is fine. And if my turn is then click to draw Spin Doctor, install Spin Doctor, and we just do the rodeo again, I don't think you like it's definitely tough. So like the other option is trashing the Spin Doctor, and then when I go install advance on the card, both my bio vaults are gone. So it's either send a message or oboe. And so then you get to mad dash you get to chew up the server that now it is tricky. Well, no, because you had the Amina, you maybe didn't have the money for it. Oh, you're convinced I had nothing in hand. Interesting. Yeah, I think it's given how little you were seeing on R&D, it's maybe like I think at a certain point you have to start being suspicious. Yeah, I snuck through like a send a message by 1 card. Like I had snuck a couple of things through for sure, but oh yeah, okay. If you thought nothing snuck through, then your line makes total sense. It was unfortunately not correct, but you know that is what it is. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. I will be right back. This is not gonna be a 10-minute break, but. Okay. So next option. Oh, not my decks. Deck lists. Let's see. Would be to go and play the Laura Asmari list, which I have not, like, I know is a good list. Because I've been told that it's a very good list. But I'm not 100% sold at. But I think it's because I try and play it wrong. So let's go live. Twitch, YouTube. I used to be able to just put my URL in here, but I'm not putting it in 2. Oh, I should swap over to Corp. To be honest, I'm almost wondering if I should not bring Grey Tongue, because everyone's going to be bringing Grey Tongue, and so, like, anyone who techs against it will be up against me and the field, and if I should just play, like, a Reg Hoshiko, but, like, Grey Tongue's just a lot of fun. Reprise SS sounds fantastic. It sounds like a lot of fun. I feel like it's so high risk. Like, playing... What is Reprise? Is it 3 influence? I feel like it should be, but... Yeah, like, playing this instead of Bravado, it'll win you some games really hard, and it'll lose you a whole lot, right? Northeasterners like PE, if I recall. Well, my impression is that there is at least one PE player who I'm expecting, which I also... She's very good, so maybe I should bring Hoshiko just to try and take down PE. And D, am I correct? I'm assuming you're going to New York, because that's much closer. Yeah, I have 0 practice on Hoshiko, so like it would be a standard tournament play for me to flip-flop to 2 decks I've never played right before the event. And then blame that for me not doing well, as opposed to not thinking through lines, practicing, or any of that stuff. But yeah, I agree. It seems wild to send 3 influence on not Bravado, not Pinhole, not all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I'd be happy to play against Essa to test this deck. It's supposed to be a good matchup. It's definitely not free, but yeah, if someone wants to hop in and play Essa, I certainly wouldn't mind. I am maybe to New York, but my friend is leaving New Jersey and is going away. Party is at 8 that day. Oh, you can make that. That's no problem. No. Yeah, no, it sounds like you're making a good call. I think it's reasonable to prioritize a friend who's moving away versus a random Netrunner event. Okay. So I think we want this, and then we name event. Which do we get? Hardening News, or do we get Econ Warfare? I think Econ Warfare. Maybe hard-hitting news now. 2 Bolognas. Okay. Okay. And a hedge fund. One tag is not really enough tags. Do we grab market forces here? Oh, oops, actually. Let's do this a smart way. Okay. Oh, maybe I should have put that turnpike on HQ so I don't get Cheshtushka again. That would have been reasonable. I think as Essa, you're supposed to stop running here. Yeah, you're definitely supposed to stop running here. Because if you don't make any runs on that turn, like on this turn 2 or turn 3, right? You just click for credits. Yeah, I get the artificial off, but maybe you just set up instead. Or you stay below and, like, you have some recovery. But, like, the fact that you just open yourself up to 4 tags here is really tough. And then you're going to go to 5 tags. I guess you draw a couple cards here. Yeah, Raindrops Cut Stone is definitely nice here. But yeah, you're just hoping I don't draw the boom, basically. So I could see the alternative line just being trying to go for to snipe out the boom out of R&D. Because like a Gaslight does win me the game, right? HHN down. That's unfortunate. Still no paperclip. I feel like this is actually IP block on HQ, and we continue to name event. Because we're not down any points, and we're up quite a bit, so... Ghost Tongue, Deuces, Steel Skin get trashed. And shuffle back the Steel Skin, Deuces, and Laundry. Makes sense. Yeah, because it's like, there's this weird push and pull in this matchup, where if the Essa can, like, stabilize before the crypto crash takes them out, like, it's actually really solid for Essa. This is like the ideal start, and our opponent basically made one bad run. Okay, so let's draw, hedge. We'll ice server 1, and then we're just gonna score next turn. Like, we're gonna stop dealing around. Opponent's like intentionally playing at 0, which is like, I'm not gonna complain too much. I could see a world where we actually oh, okay, well, we got 2 cards to shuffle back now. That's great. I mean, to some extent, maybe we don't even need to shuffle back the Bologna, but... yeah, this is where it's a bit rough for the Essa, where you didn't get over the 7 hump, so you just get wiped down. You can probably ditch an Econ War here. Uh, yeah, that's the other option, D, right? Just like don't make the cut, and then you'll definitely be done by 8, and you can probably make it back to New Jersey in time. I don't know how bad the transit system is, but it seems plausible. Okay. I mean, we just keep going here, right? Unknown Bologna in R&D is surely better than known Bologna in archives. I'm not quite sure what you mean, River. I must have... So I should be shuffling back this Boom and the Bologna. Because that would be winning me the game on the spot. So this is me just playing a little bit loose and silly. And this is honestly one of my biggest problems in tournaments is I have a hard time actually focusing in. 1.5 hour drive back does make it tricky. So you would have to leave at 6:30 if the event... I forget when New York... Does New York start their events at 11 because they're a bunch of lazy bones who don't like to get up early? Let's check. Also, even though I gave... Oh, registration at 12:30. If it's 6 rounds, or you might be done after our lunch break. Oh, no, our opponent doesn't have this because it's a Bologna. Yeah, 12:30 is a lazy bone start time. Yeah, it's much better to start at 11 and then do an hour lunch break after 2 rounds. Way better. You get the tournament done at exactly the same time, but you feel better about it. The venue opens at 12, then pick a better venue. No, it's I'm just teasing, but I again still should have shuffled back the Boom because it still wins faster than scoring out. Oh, well, free venue space. Yeah. That's better than what I can do. So, yeah, no, if it's free, you definitely take whatever time they open. And you can ignore all I said because I'm just an ignorant white dude. So, triple botulus, let's go. Probably still res this. Right, now we're finally going to use our Spin Doctor. I'm going to draw. So this costs 6 to break. This is free to break, so they would just have to click for 2 credits to steal the Bologna. Oh, no, they wouldn't. We're in the value econ war, I think. I know, I do kind of wish I had started the event at 10:30. That would be so nice. The event would be halfway done at the lunch break. But I don't know. I actually was like the, what was it, the Euro Continentals last year. I got up at 4 a.m. to play. And that was fine. No, not our Boom. 3 credits. So I think we just install advance. Yeah, this deck definitely needs more tag punishment, I feel like. This is the thing that Ian and I were talking about, is like it just feels sometimes like when the runner goes tag me, you can have a surprisingly hard time closing it out. And, like, you probably will win, but it's going to take a long time, and you have to sweat bullets the entire time. Like, it wouldn't take that much for our opponent to have drawn slightly better there and have won the game. GG's. Yeah, like, this feels like a really solid matchup. Yeah, I think turn 3... you're not supposed to run. Yeah, like this is the thing where it's like Essa's very used to just going full on charge mode all the time, and you have to not do that in this matchup, which is like, oh, maybe you do want one fermenter, or maybe you do, or like 2 fermenters or 2 liberated accounts. And you just credit up, and like if you're playing 2 events a turn, you're coming out ahead. I could see if you're worried about a lot of Asmari is you probably drop like a Dirty Laundry or 2 for the other econ options. Because if you can just remote lock, and like the ice in this deck is super, super flimsy, the deck is just going to clog with agendas in hand. I think it's still good, like, fundamentally into a heavy Essa field. I worry that it's not that good into a heavy Hoshiko field, especially if they, like, play around you having a Crypto Crash in the first couple of turns. So yeah, I don't know how I feel. Like, it's a very solid list, but could this deck fit Corden? I'd rather just put another Tag Punishment card in. Like, I'd rather put in the second Market Forces. I think it does effectively the same thing. I think Corden's... It's still awkward to play, I think. I might be wrong, but... I know people liked NAPT Corden. I was never that sold by it. Put an NGO for the second Forces. Yeah, that's a good shout. That's definitely a good call. Yeah, another option would maybe try to go to a third Gaslight, but yeah, second Market Forces I think makes the deck much more consistent. The problem card that dodged the ban list, Market Forces. Thing that truly set back runners to 0. But, yeah, I mean, this is a super solid list. Like, I think it's not one I enjoy playing as much. And I've been, like, theory crafting it off, and I'm like, do I just test this off stream and see if I can make it work? So I don't know. But no, it's probably something like this. I could also look at this ASA list, actually. Yeah, I think Cat, like, 90% of the time, like, I think I usually just mill off the top. I felt like I wanted to mill off the hand there because I felt like the game was locked and I lose it by weird mills. I'm usually quite aggressive about milling, though. But it's just like, I felt like none of my cards in hand were worth anything, and I wasn't even protecting agendas by having cards in hand. So they were just not particularly useful resources. Yeah, like, I could try this against Essa. The other thing, actually, I thought about... Where's my combo op? It must be here somewhere. Yeah, here we are. If I put in... Okay, so we cut these weird cards. Right? We go to 2 global foods. And then we put in a Chrysium grid that we can tutor. And we put in a second Regolith, and we've got 15 ice. Is the Tithe worth its weight here? Probably not. I think I'd rather have another... Oh yeah, if I've already got an ice wall, I definitely don't need a tithe. And I don't think I need the ice wall. I think I want an enigma. The other option to go with this op list is to go all in on the 5/3s and go pure combo kill. Which maybe is the legit way to do it. Like, you just go all in on kill, and you can then you can find the slots for the Citadel tech, which is like the only tech people are running anymore. Like, the reason that was not a good deck was because of Stone Ship Chart Room. But if everyone's moved over to Citadel, maybe that's fine. Blah blah blah. YouTube. Okay. Yeah, it's like start out with small changes to your foundation. Like, oh, hey, does Chrysium Grid help the matchup enough? Probably not. Probably not. Does going down the ice curve, cutting an envelopment for a 4 cost or a 3 cost or a 1 cost help? Possibly. Definitely it's a possibility. Oh, I even have the trust operation in here right now. Probably this should be a hedge fund. But unsure. All right. This is a super slow start, but I might even just like install Enigma, click for 2. Actually, let's go Spin Doctor. You can see it. Okay. Do I just install this Chrysium Grid right now? Sure. Strax's a good card. Strax's definitely a good card. I think next turn I just like triple ice the remote with a Rashida in it. Oh boy, this is a draw. So I actually have enough to res this, which is better than I thought. Okay, so we're once again up against Nexus 419. Apparently everyone's going to play Nexus 419. I actually think that's a fine matchup for us, though. We're relatively fast. So this is, it's like, as much as I would love to get the Malapert off, I need to just be somewhat stable in Econ. There goes a Bass. Okay. This is a bit of an odd play. I guess you're just trying to shark a border control out of me. Okay, what's the discard here? Probably the envelopment. I think next turn is like hedge fund, install in the remote. Boom is gone, Bass is gone. Nexus is down. That's unfortunate. Okay, so that does change how I have to do things a little bit. Not if I throw down a border control, right? Because then you can't Nexus through the Horden twice. I think we can wait a turn. So then we're going to go Hedge Fund. Install the Malapert in Server 2. And draw a card because I know how to sequence my turns, right? Oh, I don't even need to put that down. That's sick. Okay. No, I think my credits are actually relatively valuable here. Okay, and there's probably some line with Bass Audacity, like in Fast Advance at GFI, but I'm not sure. Okay, they jack out. Interesting. So we're just going to go for the HQ access, which is actually correct here, amusingly enough. 30 cards left, so we've drawn like a quarter of the deck, and we've seen 4 agendas, which is a little bit high, for sure. We don't quite kill, but we get kind of close. So we're going to res this. We'll trash this. We will fire the Azef protocol. And then we'll search R&D for an Audacity. And then the turn. So if the opponent doesn't snipe on Azef here, we win the game. Unless they steal the 2 hostiles. Oh, that's true, Janktivist. You're right. We were never that close to killing them. We are quite close to winning the game, though. So what I do is I go new remote. No. I go advance. Score. Trash. Yes. Rashida in server 2. Spin Doctor's technically better, actually. Not even technically, significantly better. We'll pretend I got the Spin Doctor there. Okay, cool. Where are we? Hostile takeover. Server 2. And we're cooking with gas. GG. How many credits did I start with? I actually didn't start with enough credits to win for without firing the Rashida, though. So maybe it was a big brain play. Turn 10. Alright. If someone wants to queue up into Essa, I would love to try this with just the one Chrysium against Essa and see how it feels. Let me make a couple of adjustments. Trust op is really suspect, I think. Yeah, Kingslayer, if you want to give someone else just 1 minute, just because I think you've been on twice today, but if no one else wants to, I'm not going to say no. I'd love to have, but I do want, you know, if someone else is itching to get on, they have a chance. But yeah, you can give it like a minute, and then you can feel free to hop on in. But cool. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm kind of like, I think op is pretty reasonable against. Okay. Oh, this is a great start. So I think we're going to go hedge fund. I think the first border control probably needs to go on HQ. And then we anvil R&D. Yeah, we can trash 2 from the top. It's probably okay to trash the ice wall, but I don't love it. I think it's an important part of our game plan at some point. We probably do just need to rip this hostile here. Moshing a diesel seems not ideal to me, but let's do a little bit of a little bit of drawing, I say, as I'm really regret it. Okay. This is a hand where I start looking at going off for a combo, because if I can install the bass behind a piece of ice and just leave it there for a bit, we're in a decent spot. No paperclip still. Deck's usually on 2. So this is the multiple deuces, so there's probably not a legwork, which is pretty good. They exposed the border control, protecting HQ. Got the Azef. Runner can gain 6 here. Wildcat's unusual. It's definitely unusual. Oh, this is a great res for me. Oh, this is fantastic. Yeah, Anvil might just be a fun... Yeah, I mean, like, hey, if they're going to spend 3 to get through this ice, I don't mind. Like, that's not cheap. Not that expensive, I guess, but... Yeah, maybe trying to play combo, but I feel like you should basically never be milling off the top, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, this is a very different list. Okay. That's interesting. Spin Doctor. Jeez. Losing 2 of them. Yeah, Time Bomb's gonna hit pretty well here. It's one of those cards where, like, maybe it's really good against PE. I could see that being reasonable, where it's like a 1 to... You're trading 1 for 3 off of like a safe-ish central run. I think we want the econ here. Which does mean they start scoring for cheaper. Or they can start running to the anvil for cheaper. Wow, it's all Spin Doctors gone. That does suck. That really sucks. We have kind of enough to do the... We need 1 more card res to do the combo, so probably Hoard'em on Archives is sufficient. Yeah, I mean, this ESA is just hitting gas, and hitting all of our Spin Doctors puts us in a pretty vulnerable spot for sure. Am I using this Stavka? Probably not that much. So what did we lose? An extract? That's fine, actually. So if I can draw... Man, losing this man. Because this could be... Sorry. They have to choose to install the Black Orchestra before the encounter effect on Anvil goes. If I had a Spin Doctor, this is a super easy decision where I res the Malapert and like get the I trash it, get the Spin Doctor, and I'm like pretty happy. Because there's nothing for me to do, I think I let them pay 6 to get through the Anvil, or 5. And they should be stealing 2 points here, or 2 agendas here, so 4 points. A boom is gone. Are both booms gone? No, not yet. That's something. 5 core damage, so hand size of 3. Okay. Probably their one finality. I mean, they've got enough credits to threaten to get in everywhere and anywhere. If I can find my last border control, I can maybe try and push out of the remote, but like, this is tough. This is very tough. Okay, there's probably some world where I can start to tax them out of this remote. Mentor makes it a little bit less likely. Actually, hold on. We're going to undo that click. I'm not resing the Malapert, so there's... Well, yeah, this is just a bad play all around. What am I thinking? Yeah, this was a terrible play. It's just score the hostile and wait. Well, who needs a Bass for actually winning the game when you can instead do nothing with it? Yeah, that was just a bizarre choice on my end. Okay, Buff the Law hits. Second boom is out, so we actually just need to win by scoring now. I don't think we really can win by scoring here. Yeah, I wonder if this game is different if I get a single Spin Doctor. Probably not, right? $16 credits is a lot of credits, too. Chrysium can probably be discarded here. R&D is, yeah, I mean, that just has to be the win, so. Yeah, it's funny, like, if there was a single Spin Doctor, I'm probably, like, sort of okay, because I would have a kill threat, at least. And I could probably assemble it. I don't know. Turn 9. That's freaking fast. Yeah, maybe you do go to the version that looks like this. If this is like, if you have any belief in this at all, right? Which is, so it's SDS, send a message, Project Atlas probably, and then you go boom, mutually assured destruction, biotic times 2. I might do Bass times 1, spin times 3. Now you can also do so what do? We do border controls, we do a Chrysium grid, we do mouselesses, we do Afshars. What other good 4-costers are there? Maybe you don't need the Bass, you just play for double biotic labor. Like, you just grind and grind and grind for double biotic. Could you do simulation reset? Just for more grind? And just like keep resetting your hand? Sprint is another option that does something kind of similar, right? So biotic, mad, boom. So we need a lot of credits. So we definitely want hedge funds. We definitely want extracts, I think. And we maybe even want some government subsidies. What other ice do we want that is annoying? Like, maybe we could actually play Veritas. Like, very annoying for Essa and Hoshiko. Well, not Turtle Hoshiko, right? I think you don't play Rashida in this list, which is definitely unfortunate, but I think you just don't ice up Centrals. I think it's actually maybe Oops, sprints. Oh, I'm over influenced. Yeah, I think you cut this. You could maybe still run, what's it called? Drudge work. Like, I could see running a single drudge work for just, there's so much ESSA around, and if they don't do everything in one turn. Attitude adjustments, another possibility over sprint. What other taxing ice do we have? IP block. It's not a bad 2-coster either. What other chunky stuff could we use? We're not looking at ob value at all here. In which case, should we just be running something else? Like, should we just be outfit, right? Because there's literally no op combo here. Could probably still run some envelopments. It's like not that bad of a piece of ice. Enigma is probably, like, do we run Maskarovkas? Like, no, we run Sandstones. And probably like Subliminal. And then you can just keep milling the Subliminals to Essa, who probably is running every turn, but you can hope, right? With 18 ice. Alright, we'll give this a spin. Let's see. Oh, I once again forgot to switch over to Corp. Okay, so yeah, the theory in this would just be slightly lower agenda density, though it's still the same number of accesses overall, thanks to the fantastic agenda math video that Andre put out. But not having so many dead cards in hand allows us to tech more for the combo. Yeah. I wish we, like, it's like I want very reliable burst out of op to get it going. And I feel like that's one of the big things I'm struggling. So we'll see. All right. Oh, this I should definitely be putting in After with some ice. I mean, you could. Yeah, you could do the Hafer and Stavka. I don't know that does enough against Anarch, right? That's not really the burst I'm talking about. I'd like to be able to just, like, because often runners are good enough at just, like, contesting your board early, and it's like, is there, like, a way I can squeeze, like, 2 more, or like 3 to 4 more credits into my early game somewhat consistently? And the answer is probably cut down the ice costs. Um, yeah, not damage burst. Boom is plenty of damage. This list should definitely be on a single trust op though. There we are. Okay, so we're gonna go R&D, archives, HQ. Then we're gonna start like draw, credit. Yeah, I guess the big thing I'm missing from like a lot of the asset econ decks is that they had asset econ, right? But it's very hard to run asset econ right now, I think. What is this? First custody is not in the innermost position. So one problem this deck might have is if the runner chooses to never run. Which I think is why a lot of versions of this deck had weird cards in them, though I think we have another solution to them never running, which is not too difficult. This whenever the Corp creates a server. Too big to fail, too dangerous? It's definitely not too dangerous, probably. So the big thing is I have to get a 4-coster on this remote. And then what I can start doing is just start scoring. If my opponent refuses to interact, you just start scoring. With the idea is that gets you cards res so that you can then do the combo. But this is some jank nonsense here. Maybe government subsidy is actually what my combo deck needs, though. Just like 1 or 2 government subsidies. That's like slots are. I'm spending so many slots on agendas and combo pieces. It's like you want less. And it's like, could you do 1 boom, 1 mutually assured destruction? And then cut the regoliths for 2. I don't know. Slots get real tough. Okay, we'll add subliminal HQ. We'll draw. Subliminal. Nope. Let's put back as SDS. Yeah, this is like the exact opposite speed of what I was thinking of. Can I play off in my list? Definitely an option. I like the fast advance being so ubiquitous. But Offworld Office or Oaktown are both like reasonable. And actually Oaktown's slightly more money. And slightly more money at times you care about. So I could definitely see just going more towards the Rush style off lists that were like running whatchamacallit. Yeah, they were doing Oaktown, former carry Managarm stuff. But yeah, maybe instead of the Zefs running 2 Oaktowns. Envelopment is a really nice res for me here because I have the Extract in hand. And so we're actually like getting close to assembling the combo. And if the runner chooses to trash it, that's fine. We just go and fetch a Mausolus and we're pretty happy. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's really funny. This doesn't get its subroutines till after its res, so Hernando only makes envelopment cost 1 additional credit. That's really funny. That's really, really funny. Oh, don't tell me I'm going to have to get into another... I hope I don't have to get into an argument about something stupid here. Because this is still a credit cost, right? I've definitely asked about similar things in the past, but it's probably worth checking. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this ignores additional costs. Okay. Ignoring credit costs. Yeah, actually, you know what? Let's ask the rules team. Let's abuse our power of knowing the rules team. Let's go. Hernando, Quartet. It's on the FRD. Okay, it does ignore Hernando. Fantastic. I'm assuming that then means it also applies to network exchange. Thank you, Janktivist. That's actually super helpful for me though, because I can. I wonder if where that came from. I love that op has just a super long. Yes, ignoring credit costing both includes res costs, and additional costs of credits like the one imposed by Hernando Cortez. Fantastic. Thanks for checking that out for me. Really appreciate it. Okay. This is where I kind of wish I had a single gaslight. Because I need biotic labor, and I need boom. And then the game ends. So to some extent, I actually want my spin doctor alive. So high value single for Slobber McGee. I guess they had 7 cards in hand. Like, this isn't the worst. It's just kind of funny to me whenever people like Boomerang for a single. Okay, great. I wonder if they were thinking about like taking a net damage there to deny me a credit. Because that does seem like the type of deck they're trying to run. Okay. We can install this in server 1. Nope. And then we can discard this and this. We can also just start scoring the send a message, I think. That might just be what my plan is. But maybe I just need to accept that I'm going to be bored this match. And like draw, extract for 3 credits, click for a credit. Hey, let's go sprint. Okay. We're slowly assembling Exodia. Sprint. Subliminal. Alright. Crucium means that we're also don't even need to protect the Spin Doctor anymore until they trash the Crucium. And now we just need to draw Biotic Labor and then we win the game. Until my opponent puts down a Citadel and I forgot to put the Trust operation in. That's when I'm sad, but that's fixed in version 2. Crasher Boom, that's fine. We'll probably shuffle it back, but not right away. Hedge Fund. And we just extract for 3 credits. So we don't need the boom, so we probably wait till they trash multiple booms. Biotic Laborer. There's only a 1 of, so we might be here for like 20 more turns with both sprints gone. I would like. There's a part of me that's like, do I shuffle back SDS and sprint to try and get more hits at the Biotic Labor? Do I have a simulation reset? That also seems like a decent way to do the same idea. I do. So I would be able to sim back. I don't actually get to do other stuff though. Let's go draw. Shuffle back. Honestly, I think now I can shuffle back the double sprints. Res, okay. Bing. I guess border control on server 1's not the worst. It just cost me roughly 10 trillion credits. But that's fine. We made a deck that prints money, so. Alright, Penny Shaver's coming down. So I don't need to res here, and let's just like not throw away money that we don't need to. And we probably want to protect HQ a bit. We need 12 credits to win, just like the standard combo. And I think I'm okay just spending a turn purging here. Yeah, my hand will literally be all pieces I care about. I think that's fine. I'm in no rush to do anything, which makes, I'm sure, for an incredibly engrossing stream, as my stream numbers suggest. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe this can withstand Essa. I suspect it's still got some vulnerable stuff in a couple of turns, in the opening turns, and against a 419 that's actually able to actively engage in playing the game. Like, I'm holding the win in hand, and I have no way to keep out the runner here. So, okay, I think we click to draw once, and we fail to find what we need. And so then we click for 2 credits and ditch 2 cards. I guess I could install the envelopment or res it. 27, it's not quite enough, but yeah. I mean, this might not be the worst meta call, though. Just saying, yeah, the way to beat a bunch of fast decks is to plan to outlast them. We might just res Afshar on HQ here, because it'll cost us 5. Takes us down to 14, so we could still win if we draw the right pieces. If the boom does get trashed, I'm going to regret not having shuffled the boom back, because I'll only have 1 Spin Doctor. I guess the simulation resets will still work, though. So, all right, sprint, right? Cool. Well, we're not that many cards left in R&D, so we've got a chance. Now, to be fair, there are 5 agendas. So we have much higher chance of getting agendas in there. And so arguably I should have put an ice on R&D just to make it more expensive, but I don't have that many credits, and it costs 2 just to install it. So I think there's reasonable arguments for not doing it. Yeah, okay, so my hand's 1 in 4 cards as agendas. My R&D is 5, so about 1 in 3 cards as agendas. So it's actually worth it to Spin Doctor draw here. If they do challenge the remote, do I res anything? Maybe the Sandstone? Just make them get the paperclip for lots of money, then res the Spin Doctor and shuffle back. Boom and sprint. This is miserable. I don't think I could do 3 games of this or 4 games of this, depending on the player count on Saturday. So maybe I'll just tell myself that people with my local meta will have watched the stream and tech against it. And that can be my justification for not trying to improve this further. This I will res for 5. Does it cost my opponent quite a bit? No, this doesn't cost them that much, but whatever. I mean, there's no point to resing right now, because there's nothing to protect here. No real point resing this. Let's hope they don't steal the Atlas. They don't steal the Atlas. Oh, the sprint does help us reset if we draw the Bass at the wrong time, as does the simulation reset. So we actually have lots of ways to reset the combo, which seems good. Because we're about equal to draw in either way, just like we did here. I wonder if you're supposed to hold on to that for a little bit. I don't think I actually rezzed that sandstone. I think I just want it to be there to be threatening. Let's see. If I draw the bass again, I have to just discard it, I think. And then try and shuffle it back with a sprint and a spin doctor. Yeah, wow. This is torture. My opponent tried to bring a prison deck and I just bought a bigger prison. King Fireslayer asking, how many cards are there in stand-up mess you have to go with the 2-turn version of the combo? Misdirection's a big one. Citadel Sanctuary doesn't work. That's a good point. Yeah, so I guess there's a line here where I res the Chrysium. Oh no, just clearing 4. So I need to give them 6 tags, right? Yeah, you're right. That's actually the better way to go here. What's the cheapest 2 things I can res? Oh, there's stuff with like install the class act that also makes me lose. Yeah, installing a class act makes me lose. Because they can clear 3 tags, install a class act. Then next turn, clear 3 tags. Oh, I should have shuffled back a boom again. Because it's a second loss condition for me here. Yeah, this deck actually maybe wants to be on 2 End of the Lines instead, which makes the combo even more cumbersome, but makes it untrashable. Yeah, I think actually in my rushier op, just going to Oak Towns is probably the right solution. Because you'd still have 4 3/2s. I'm going to install this on Archives. And then next turn I just purge. Against opponent's jank deck is probably correct way for Biotic, but in the tournament setting where you don't have infinite time probably makes more sense and bearable. Just take the 90% win. It depends, right? If I still have time on the clock, what I can do is I can play the clock, right? Like, if I had a worse hand, I could definitely see going for it, but like now I'm actually maybe under enough pressure to consider going for it. The problem is also the boom is always going to be trashable out of HQ, which makes the non-combo lines much more suspect as a whole. Okay, this is great. We just go... Done. Bass, SDS, boom, Drudge. Okay. Oh, we're going to immediately discard one of those booms. Okay, maybe this deck is just garbage. Or I should have gone for, as Fireslayer's saying, the 90% line of blowing up 3 things. I think the problem is Runner also has the option of running HQ 4 times and trying to snipe the boom. Am I sure there's a biotic in here? Pretty damn sure. Pretty damn sure. I could definitely see, if you're trying to make this work, a single Gaslight is also an option. And 2 end of the lines could be better than Boom. The other upside of a single end of the line is if an ESSA ends on less than 4 hand size, you don't need the full combo. You can just Biotic Mad Kill or Bass Mad Kill. You don't actually need to get the searches going. No point in resing here. Do I fire this? I don't think I do. Envelopment only has 1 sub. Oh, if my opponent makes me lose 3 here, that's unfortunate. Which is kind of funny. Like, I don't know what else you're... If you think I'm building anything in this remote ever again. This also has the unfortunate loss condition now, where we might draw the Biotic and the Bass and be unable to, like, not sequence those. Oh, and we're actually going to dip down below anyway here. Okay. Top could be the Biotic Labor here, because it didn't get trashed, which is very promising. Oh my frickin' god. This is wild. We've seen the same Bass 3 times, the Biotic Labor 0 times. Okay, we have enough credits though, so that Amino won't stop us. Yeah, I know. We've played 2 sprints, I think 5 times. And maybe this list should just be on 2 Biotics. Yeah, I don't know. This feels more fragile than I'd hoped it would. But also I committed... What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4... Wait, this is a 3 credit install. 4, and then this is like a 1,000,000 credit install. Okay. We're going to draw once, and then we're going to click for 3 credit, or 2 credits. Okay. 4 out of 5 cards wins the game here for 419. So of course 419 goes for it. Do I pop the border control? Sure. No install. I assumed I had another Ashar in there. I did not. I also had no Sandstones left either. Wait, is the opponent not responding to this very clear signal that the win is in HQ? Well, that would be lucky for me if they do, but... Okay, just access the mutually assured destruction. Come on. No! GG's. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, would we have been able to win? Holy what is this? Oh my goodness. What is this? Like, what the fuck? This bass has managed to get on top of the Bionic Laborer every single time. How many times did we play Sprint? Let's find the first use. Okay, so we're going to go play Sprint. We played 2 sprints 5 times and had another one left in the deck. Oh. Oh. I mean, this feels just like bad luck. Right? We drew Bass 3 times. If we had drawn Biotic any one of those 3 times, which would be, you know, much better. Like, that's really good odds. We would have found it one of that time. I mean, Sprint actually is gas in this style of deck. The fact that we couldn't find a Biotic Labor to save our life is the tough part. So better Prison players than me will find the deck in this. Any 1-costers to make fetching Gaslight easy. We could definitely put in like an Ice Wall. Because I don't think putting in a Malapert Data Vault makes any sense. You could put in Launch Campaign. And then just like put that in this remote. But I'm not sure if you build this remote every time. Yeah, I mean, you have to protect Gaslight for a turn, right? But it might be worth... Like, maybe you cut the Simulation Reset, put in a Sprint, put in a Gaslight, maybe even 2 Gaslights, and you cut some of the, like, millionth pieces of ice, maybe? Just to try and get stuff consistent, right? So... we just try and go... We cut the Simulation Reset. The Sprints actually, I think, were worth it. Subliminal, maybe not. Maybe we do just go to 2 end of the lines, but I don't know. Seems like the opposite direction of where we want to go. 2 Gaslights. And then we cut the Enigmas for another Afshar. And we probably don't want 3 Envelopments. We probably just want 2. 16 Ice. I could see cutting like a government subsidy or maybe the Subliminal, actually, now that we've cut that. For like a 3rd Veritas. Okay, so yeah, Kingfire's Lair. The actual plan for the Bass is this. So click, you start your turn. You have a 4-cost piece of Ice Rezzed. And another card rezzed. You play Biotic Labor. Then you play Mutually Assured Destruction. You trash the 4-cost card and one other card to give the runner 2 tags. Because you draft a 4-cost card, with Op, you get to search your deck for a 3-cost card, which is Bass Churnboga. You've got 1 click left. You click Bass Churnboga. You now have 2 clicks left. And then you play the Boom. So that's the idea. And the Bass basically saves you 3 credits and an influence over playing a 2nd Biotic Labor. That may not be worth it. It might be better to go to 1 Gaslight, 2 Biotic Labors. It makes the combo cost 16 credits, which is a lot. Because you have to play 2 Biotic Labors, a Mutually Assured Destruction, and a Boom. But you don't need to have 4-cost cards rezzed. But yeah, you need 5 clicks to get the combo kill. But cool. Well, I'm glad I streamed today trying to figure out what Corp I wanted to play. And I went... I guess I went 3-4, which is something, but not what I would like to go to into a Saturday. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for me tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun. I will try and record footage from the event and maybe do a little vlog of my event. I'll try and take notes for once so I can, talk about what actually happened in the games. And yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun, and I'll catch you all around. Oh, also, AMT is, well, for me, Friday, but for people on the other side of the date line, the 20th. And you should do it if you can. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. Have a good night.